A cutie puss. Okay, welcome ladies and gentlemen. My name is Haradeas, and today I'm gonna talk about a deck I made a little while ago. And it was pretty successful in Throne. For the people who don't know, I'm a deck builder. And I like to make decks. And I tend to do pretty good in Eternal. I always hit a master. But it's always fun to make your own decks. And with this deck I want to inspire people to also make their own decks and get some creative ideas. So without further ado, we're gonna start with the deck. So what is this deck all about? It's a green-yellow shadow deck, and it is mostly based around Exalted and Killer. That's the main gist of the deck. You can see it more as a early mid late control-ish deck. I did played it a lot, and I had a lot of success with it, and now I will tell you guys a little bit about the deck and how it's being played. Let's see. So, in early game, you definitely want to survive. You do that with, for example, the Ghost Blade Outcast. This one is just very good. I used it, I did some experimenting with it, and it does wonders. You will get it pretty often, together with the Pathlighter, the Xenon Lifespeaker, and the Hojin Chronebreaker, and the Ripknife Assassin. Those creatures will let you survive the early game very easily. And also you will get them pretty often. Why? Because of the Chronewatch Press Gang. If you play the Chronewatch Press Gang, you can just select the creature that you want. Do you want lifesteal? Do you want deadly to defend, for example, or just a Xenon Lifespeaker to get more lifesteal? It's all possible. In the early game, I do had some mana issues, and I fixed them by Varus Favor. And in the market, you see the Cargo and the Regan's Tomb. Those give you enough mana fixing abilities to never really have any mana issues. Once you establish the early game, you go into the mid game. In the mid game, you get the controlish cards like, for example, Nullblade and Harsh Rule. Those are basically just used to get rid of annoying 5/5s or some graveyard abilities. For the card draw, I used the Beckoning Lumen. The Beckoning Lumen is, in this deck, really good. It combines really well with the Stone Powder Alchemist, or with the Ghostblade Outcast, Xenon Lifespeaker, Hojin Chronebreaker, even Varus Favor. It combines with a lot of different cards. So it's pretty easy to get your card draw rolling. Let's see, for the rest you have the Xenon Temple. There's also one in the market. For the killer effect is very synergetic with a lot of the cards in this deck. Also with the Ghostblade Outcast, Hojin Chronebreaker, it's amazing on that. For the rest, let's see. The deck is really good with Deadly. So you have a lot of Deadly. The way how I use Deadly is especially for defensive purposes. It stops any big creature very easily. But the side effect, what I use it quite often for, is that deadly creatures are really good to defend sites. And that's why I also use it quite a bit for. But the weak point of the deck was mostly what I noticed, the lack of dealing with the flyers. And that's where the Gnash Desert Prince comes in. If you think they have a lot of flyers, definitely keep this card in hand, so you can remove any flyer whatsoever. In the end game, you have some really good finishers. For the people that watch my stream, they know about them. Is Talut, just a really good card. And of course, a Sindel. A Sindel is also really good. Why? Because if you play it, it's not only a very good active ability or passive ability, this is how you look at it, but it also spawns 2 1/1 poison creatures. And those you can use again for defending your sites. For the rest, you some sightings you can think about is, for example, the use of the killer. Basically, you can use the killer as a transfer of abilities towards another creature, meaning the killer, you can play it on the Ghostblade Outcast, and basically when this creature dies, you can give any creature in your deck lifesteal, which is a very good comeback factor, or just for early game survivability. Let's see, did I miss something? I think that's mostly it. Didn't I mention some cards? Let me see. Sabotage, I did notice I had to add 2 cards. I didn't know which one till I got in Sabotage. Sabotage is really good to remove the weapons, because the small creatures that you have, they're very susceptible for weapons, to remove them. So with the Sabotage, you can remove any weapons that they have, or any spells for that matter. Also very good against any relics, against any relic decks. The Immortalize is also a very good synergy with the Killer and the Exalted. Immortalize on itself gives Exalted to any creature whatsoever. So it's very good to get back an Exalted Killer creature, for example from the graveyard, or if it's only a killer creature, you can get it back and it gets Exalted, meaning if you play that creature with a killer, you remove a creature with it, you instantly can reuse the killer on that Exalted on another creature. So you can play killer twice in the same round. It's really good. I only have 2 because from experience I noticed 3 was just too much. So yeah, that's that. Is there another card that I didn't mention? Maybe we go... No, that's it. We go now to the market. The market, the only the 2 cards I didn't mention before is the Makto, the Inquisitor Makto. It's just a very annoying card. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows the Inquisitor Makto, especially if you even combine it with Killer, it gets a 10 times more annoying. The only thing you have to be careful about is silence. If you see, for example, a green deck, there is a very high chance they have the 3/3 flyer with the silence. That's the only thing you have to pay attention to. And the Dizzo's Office is just a very good comeback card. Again, with the lifesteal. Lifesteal combines good with the card draw engine, the Lumen. And it also removes a creature off the board. It's overall a very solid side. The deck has quite a bit of sides, which makes it also really good against spell decks, because a lot of the spells cannot remove the sides. So that's it. Let me know what you guys think of it, and definitely be sure to use it in game. And that's it. Do please check me on YouTube, Twitch and Twitter. And after this little chapter I will be posting some gameplay so that you guys can see how the deck actually plays in game. Sadly, my Diamond and Master matches got corrupted with the video files, so I had to record some new ones. Sadly, it was after the reset, so it's from Silver and Gold, but I can guarantee you the deck is very usable in Diamond and Master. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed this little deck tutorial, and I will see you guys next time.